the first time I took that particular bus, and there were two bus stops right together, and I didn't realize it, so I look up, and it's the wrong bus stop, so I figure, well, I must have screwed up. I walked almost a mile and a half, and then turned around and had to walk a mile and a half back, and found out that the bus stop I wanted was 60 feet away from the one I looked at. Now, tell me you don't feel stupid when you realize that.
We don't feel stupid. We just said that's an oversight.
It's an oversight. That was one hell of an oversight, I'll tell you.
Because I had a Monday. Your Friday is my
Monday.
All right.
Damn, I felt stupid. So how has your week been going?
Fine.
That's good.
We have to sign a form for Medicare.
Oh, the lovely Medicare form. We're going to charge you for this because we don't think you really have to have this procedure. The answer to them is fuck you.
So the first form, you just signed it, I verified you. The next form is your Medicare form. You check option 1 to sign the date if you want us to be on Medicare.
Patient signature authorization. Okay. This is the one order. My answer to this is, okay, you don't want to pay for that, then I'll just have a CAT scan every time I come here so that we can figure out if it's doing any good.
I need you to check option 1 for me. Oh, I thought you had my phone. Okay, ready? Thank you.
At least it's not like that other treatment I get on Tuesdays, where your arms are out like this, and you take it out on one side, process it, put it back on the other side. You can't move your arms for 3.5 hours. And so I'm sitting there. It's the second. I do it 3 times. This was the second time. So he said, well, do you have a port? I said, no. I have a starboard. And they eventually laughed. And then the guy comes in, and his veins were so bad that they couldn't do it. So he had to go have a port put in. And after he told me everything that he had to go through and what he has to do now with the port, I said, I'll do without the port. I'll just.
Yeah, I heard it's not as good as it sounds.
Well, but see, he could read a book for 3.5 hours while I just sit there.
Okay.
Here I am.
I've seen this woman before. She's following me.
I am. I'm following you. I follow all men. Any man I can find, I follow.
I could say that I followed all women, but I got into such hot water that I don't do it anymore.
Oh, I can understand that.
Trouble is, I couldn't figure out the good ones from the bad ones.
Oh, God, ditto.
And the bad ones are the ones that are more aggressive, so...
Oh, yeah, the bad ones come on really, you know...
Yeah, so being a stupid male,
Chameleons.
which we are, we just, you know, okay.
No, I've had a couple bad men, please, you know. There's some stupid ones around, too. I was stupid for a while.
Oh, that's right.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're like a little target. Ah, there's a nice person.
That's what it was. It was explained to me, but I was much too old by the time I got the explanation.
Yeah.
But it made for some very interesting stories that I can tell for hours.
I have a girlfriend that keeps telling me that I'm going through through all this because there's a wonderful man at the end of the
Yeah, at the end of the
rainbow.
tunnel. Yeah, right.
Okay.
I'm 72 years old and I've heard that shit for the last 30 years.
Okay, Mr. Nixon.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's always a pleasure doing business with you.
1144 Karen Myers.
These are the best blood draw girls I've ever come across in my entire
I
life.
think great.
Yeah, it's very impressive because I've done it enough times with them and other people to know the difference.
We got the best needles in the place.
Best needles in the place. They're hands-on with the needles.
These girls, front and in the back, are great at needles. Needle club.
3 the first
I won't needle you anymore.
Funny needles.
Okay, we're going to the infusion room. Infusion room. Whoops.
It's me.
Jeffrey, where are you, Jeffrey? Oh, there you are. So are you going to have lunch with me today?
Oh, I don't even get a lunch.
Hi there. He saved me my chair.
He did save your chair for you.
Are you making notes already? Don't you ever let up? Yeah, look at this.
I am in my own way the same thing as an artistic photographer.
Yeah, I know you are. I mean, I believe that after talking to you last time.
Let me move this out of your way. No, I'm okay. You're all right.
What's that thing in your face?
Well, this? My daughter wanted to see where I go all the time.
We have
No, I'm talking about
paper scrub
you're
tops if you
doing the
want.
left eye now.
Are you sure?
Oh,
Okay.
And you know, sometimes they can't get it in the one, so they have to do the other. So I basically learned to roll them both up because eventually I have to do that anyway.
I know, I do the same thing. I do it myself.
Yeah, but
I
you
also look at which one had the worst time during
yeah, well,
the initial,
I don't say anything.
what?
I don't say anything. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings.
Michael,
No, I know, the right one got it.
Huh?
right?
What?
They drew your blood
Yes.
today? Here.
Yes, there were two fangs that came out in my neck.
Nice.
Tell her she has to draw a picture of Count Dracula
Count Dracula.
and do the blood count.
You know, I should have brought do you have an email address?
Yeah.
You have to give me your email address because I took a video. I should say that the nurses took a video of me and then each other and whatever when I was getting the second treatment at the Red Cross. And it's funny. I mean, especially if you know what it is, you know. And they said, well, we can't do that. We're not creative. I said, I don't give a shit. Just take the damn thing and you know, show what's going on. They did a good job.
Just don't move too fast.
Right.
I want to finish this though because
Go.
this has to be done in less than 5 minutes when I do it.
What's the name maker last night?
I'll be done in a minute.
But we had to leave it because I was crashing. But liked it a lot.
Hi, Larry.
Yeah.
What's happening?
I'm doing the blood now.
I
Yes, I don't know why you didn't have it done in the lab. Okay. You're supposed to go to the lab.
He likes it in here better.
That's okay. It's right off to your right as you're walking in.
See? You were a naughty boy.
I heard you didn't have your blood drawn either.
No, I was in there. I wouldn't miss that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, those are the best. They're, after all the things that have been done to me, they are the best I've ever come across.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, Lizzie and File. Where did she hook up at the right?
Yeah, we know what you're gonna find in that box, right?
Well, we knew that was going to, but we wouldn't know what she
Hey, do you want to write while I'm doing this? It's okay. I don't care. I just want to. Okay.
You could unscrew my arm and just do it.
Okay.
Just don't put the left arm in the right socket and the right arm in the left socket, because that really messes me up.
Then you'll have thumbs down instead
Thumbs
of
down, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, they're getting a workout. I could ask you one of these questions.
What is it?
Probably answer better than you do.
Sometimes I can.
No, part of it is scientific. I call it American Cancer Society. You check on the web, you check trying to find out different things for weight gain.
Yeah.
What the other needing a balance there, and so on, what items should be.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Especially with this stuff. They make.
Oh, yes. I remember that.
You know,
Right.
hydration, of course.
Well, right.
But the point
Are you
is,
trying? You don't need to gain weight.
Well, no, part of it is maintaining weight to the point.
Cool. Honestly, Larry, there's nothing specific unless you're
Yeah.
because there isn't anything.
Okay, it actually is
Yeah,
simple.
there just isn't. There's if you don't need to gain weight and you just need to, maintain what you're doing.
What's old age and what isn't?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What happens at a certain point?
Well, right. Exactly.
Yeah, the older.
When I worked, I actually, the highest I ever was 4 years.
Well, what she said was,
Right.
Erica just screamed all the time. She thought,
Uh-huh. Okay. All right. Okay. You look like a part of it is kind of your stature and how you look, and you look healthy. Yeah, but like as far as like weight goes, if we start to notice where it's not a healthy and you're no, we don't. We just want you to maintain, and there's really nothing specific.
and then when the
I mean, that's not good. That's not a good. That's not a good way to gain weight.
sort of
No, it's like good. That's why to gain, like maybe to gain weight is like good fats, like like those good, like the good fats,
Like bacon,
more of those.
sausage.
Yeah, olive oil, avocados, nuts, almonds, fish that has that fatty content, that kind of stuff. So,
music,
yeah.
Almonds are good for you.
Salmon's like
Almonds.
the best, like I read somewhere that's like the best food that you could possibly eat.
more charming than
That's-
swine.
yeah. I don't like salmon.
But anyway,
You'll learn. You'll learn.
I try it all the time. I want to, but I don't like it.
You know, a lot of people don't like tuna.
Really?
Maybe friends of mine.
so that's right.
I don't know why I work.
A good fresh tuna steak, the best.
No, but even the canned stuff.
Oh, sure.
They say, well, I have to have the white, I have to have this and that. But remember, tuna was never in water when you were a kid.
Right, when we were a kid, it was always in
There's a
oil.
reason for it.
Why is it?
It's fresher.
To keep it in oil, you mean?
Because the oil is what kept it.
Really?
And the taste and the flavor and everything was preserved.
Yeah.
Now, they said, oh no, I don't want to get fat. Then they put soybean oil in it.
That sucked. I don't like that one.
Sorry.
I'll take an oil can and mix it with water.
Really?
Yeah, it was fine.
That's not a bad idea. That's what I should, because I won't buy it in oil because I think it's fattening.
No, but I mean, if you mix it down, everybody thinks it's fattening.
I know, but it's probably a good fat, right?
It's soybean. That's what they put in.
You know what I like? And I gave up eating it for a long time because I was dating. I don't date anymore. Sardines. I love sardines.
Really?
But you get sardine breath.
Sardine breath, and if you're dating, you can't.
You can't have sardine breath.
She eats sardines?
Yeah, she like it's good this morning.
That makes me want that.
Sardines. Right, they come in a can?
Yes.
Yeah, it's sardines.
Are they good for you?
Very. And the only reason that I ever ate them was my dad was big on outdoor tenting and fishing and shit.
Oh, so you need.
I wasn't.
Me neither.
We went on we'd go up to Canada. Now, I wasn't old enough to drive when this happened. And we had a 1 mile portage. All this shit. And I made one of the last trips back to pick up a load.
Okay.
And I'm looking for something to eat.
You're starving.
I'm starving. And the only thing there was the goddamn cans of sardines.
Oh, no.
And so that's how hungry I was. So I opened up one of those cans and I ate the sardines. And from then on, I like sardines. I used to get almost nauseous when my parents would have it at home.
Yeah.
I was like, how can you eat that? It's terrible. Then I find
Your
myself
breath's
eating
really bad when you eat them.
Just sardine breath.
Yeah, it typically happens during the infusion.
And they have fat in them, so they don't digest that quickly. So you get a little burp up. Boy, that's enough to drive somebody to the other side of the room. Hard to find my veins.
Yeah, we have to put a Whopper in,
Hard to find the veins. And they
So
were
this is number 2 for you.
yes.
This is the one where typically
Yeah,
you react.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
I know.
I reacted to the last one.
You did?
Yeah, not until I got. Actually, it was when I was sitting waiting for the train.
Really? What happened?
I made the bus ride. I started to sweat like I was running a race. And by the time I got off the train, which was 45, 50 minutes later, I was soaking wet.
Oh, wow. So what'd you do when you got home?
Well, I didn't go. Home is a long way away.
Okay. Where do you
So
live?
I went to the office.
Okay.
And in the office, I have a partner.
Okay.
And she said, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "I don't feel like doing anything." And I eventually, after sitting around for a while, I drove home. I said, another 22 miles.
Where do you live?
I stay at the grace of a woman in her house out in Grace Lake.
Look at my 2 gentlemen.
Yeah, I know, right?
After
All the resources.
so how'd you like my camera analysis?
That was very good, thank you.
I mean, I could have gone on, and then I caught myself, and I said, "He's a doctor, for Christ's sake! I'm doing this like he's an avid, professional photographer."
Yeah, I mean, I think, I don't know, I'll see. I may do I may just use hers for a little bit and just get some lenses, and then, because I wouldn't mind having a little HD video,
Right.
That'd be nice.
Right. Well, now they have this came out with a new, they have so many now. Nikon, it's a
Why don't you put some heat on you?
3200, I think.
Yeah.
And it's like $800 or $750. And for the 750, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, and it's got like a Wi-Fi connection.
It's got everything, So it's kind of hard to justify buying the D, what are we up to, D4?
Yeah.
For $8,000.
Right.
And for most of us, almost, unless you're a sports shooter,
right.
And getting paid good bucks, there's no point to some of those cameras.
Yeah. Yeah, I think...
I felt really bad for you, by the way. I really did. I've only had... I've had a few things stolen. And it just made me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, I just can't... I'm hoping someone maybe, brings
it back because they picked it up by the wrong...
took it.
Someone took it.
At my Mason's football game last week.
That makes it worse. If you're downtown at a hotel working or at a conference or something, you know who it is. But Jesus, this is some other...
That's why I'm hoping someone just maybe kind of saw it and thought it was left and then took, and then they bring it back. hopefully. But I sent an email. I mean, I didn't get any positive response.
I really felt bad. That hit a little too close to home.
Yeah, I was just like, oh my camera. And it's like the perfect, you know, whoever got it has this great bag with the lens. I mean,
the lens, they got the whole setup.
They do. Luckily, I don't think there's any photos on there. I mean, I downloaded everything, so everything was on there.
No, then, you know, at least you're smart that way.
Right.
There are people coming to my office, they have 2 years worth of
Yeah,
stuff
no,
on
no,
their
I
camera.
downloaded
It'll take you 10 minutes to download it.
Right.
And so what happens if you lose your camera?
Right. No, I had everything. Sir,
I did call you back.
I did. You told Mary that
I said no. I called at 3:15 and hung up by 3:20.
He knows everything, by the way.
No, it's a day before I called. You called
I
me
called
back
you
at
then?
noon the next day.
Yeah.
I called up and left a specific message. What was it?
She thought you were saying I didn't call, and I did call.
No. That's what's going on around here. I'm going to see Rick before I leave. Something's wrong.
Okay.
That's 2 out of 2.
All right, so this time you're going to take some Motrin.
This one here. I took 2 last night.
Okay. So, yeah.
I didn't want to take it this morning.
Yeah, and then start tonight.
But it works even for the sleep part of it. Mine is, I was explaining to Amanda, they're reporting all the reactions to FDA. I talked to the pharmacist.
I know, I filled something out.
All as infusion reactions, they're not. I told them this is a delayed immune reaction. I mean, I know the difference. One day, the second day, I felt really good. First thing I had, what you call this, wow, I'm warm inside, things are working. I didn't say anything. I did what I was supposed to do. The third day was average.
Okay.
The fourth day started it. I didn't sleep all of Monday night. Couldn't. My mind was racing. Everything was hyper, crazy. Heavy sweats. Okay. Then going into chills. You know what I mean? Which we would say would be flu-like, but it isn't.
Okay.
It's more severe.
Okay.
But he doesn't tell you about the woman he was in bed with at the same time.
Correct.
The what?
He leaves that out.
With the sex, you know.
Right.
But part of it is something like this is you need to, on delayed reactions, is so have some format. You don't have to put it in writing to difficult people. Listen, this occurs.
You know, I haven't had anyone else have that.
No? You're positive.
Positive. I mean, I
can't
have.
wait for the second
You're
one
my
to hear if it's
third.
worse. I didn't
He's
have
my second, and then my first guy finished, I don't know, a few weeks ago. He didn't have anything like that either. Because I asked him, because it was right after I spoke to you, and I saw him in the office.
Yes, I can barely hear
That's
you.
right. Because it was after I spoke to you,
Hey, are you going already?
and I.
Or are you just wandering around?
I'm wandering. I'm wandering.
Nothing.
MC.
He had
I'm wandering.
Rigers during the infusion.
Just
Riger
wandering
chills,
around, waiting for
but nothing when you're
test.
No, I did it. Well, he probably wasn't hydrated. I'm not sure.
No, I mean, I think that was an infusion reaction. He had an infusion reaction.
Well, sometimes people get very upset when they have to go see a doctor.
Well, no, it wasn't anxiety. It was a true reaction.
Is he really like, he's an easygoing guy? That kind of thing?
Yeah. As much as he can be coming here.
No, but
Coming in here.
How about
Yeah.
exercise versus no exercise?
No,
That
he's,
kind of
I mean, he's an older guy.
Average guy?
It was yeah. But nothing after. He didn't have anything at home. It was here. And it passed.
The point is, the delayed ones can be very serious. I'm very concerned.
Understandable. So you got to
I
take
would have
the.
ended up in an emergency room.
Take the
people
Motrin.
saying, oh, what do we do with them? Okay, we'll give them steroids, we'll give them this, we'll give them that, Benadryl, load them up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I spent 7 hours in the emergency room and walked out angry.
Yeah.
And you know
What, last time with
This
this?
was on something
Oh,
else.
okay.
No,
I was like, oh, great.
No, I can't carry on a conversation about two-way.
Yeah.
We haven't got a lot of time because you've got patience.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah. So fun. Go down.
He sees 2 a day. What do you mean he's got patience?
I had sternum pressure. Okay.
Maybe take your Tylenol and your Benadryl.
Yes,
I'm gonna move this just for a minute.
I made an appointment at 5:20 when I called up this space. No, I have to leave. She shouldn't have done it. I have to go myself for a treatment. Okay? Go to the emergency room. It was at St. Francis. Unreal. Then I found out later that I'd been there before. It's
So
not
anyway,
run by
this
a
woman
private
took me
group.
in.
They are Larry Moan.
She lives
7 hours. I walked out.
So let's get your
But I diagnosed
22
it
miles away
myself.
from where I
My
used
doctor didn't believe me,
and
and he checked it out. He said,
we were going to have a
"I want you to be a doctor like
Okay.
my
It's
father
sort
was a
of,
doctor."
you'll pardon the
I
expression,
said,
petered
not
out.
like
Oh,
algorithm.
but now you're there.
Do
I'm
this,
not
that,
I
that.
have
They
nowhere
want
else to
keep you
go.
overnight, do stress tests, everything. I said, out of here.
Okay.
They ran
So
3
are you
expensive
continuing up the
tests
relationship, or are you
and
just
didn't talk to me directly at all.
We were roommates.
Anyway, let's get this down.
Okay.
Number one, I just asked
My
Amanda about weight
business was in
gain,
the toilet, which is really what.
if and when. I can't lose much more weight. You know what I mean? I'm not losing it,
I
I'm
thought, well, you know,
stabilized.
how bad could it be?
Well, there are a lot of these questions we're not going to know because we don't have a lot of patients on.
No, I'm talking about
she went away for
dietitians.
3 weeks.
Oh,
She
yeah.
said
Well,
there isn't
first
much. I
we-
tried finding it, and I can't
And
find
then I
it.
found out
It's all
her
private.
son
You have to pay
comes
out of
on the
pocket for
weekends
that.
to,
I mean, they
hang
have it
out.
through like physical therapy.
There'd be
Athletico
another
has a
week.
nutrition.
and there are
I
3
think the
dogs,
health center
2
here has a
cats.
nutritionist.
You
So
take
it's
care of
all, it's not linked.
They have nutrition.
I've taken care of 1 dog at a time.
I'm okay now.
There
but
were
I
3
can't
dogs
lose
and 2
much.
cats.
I
You
mean, I
guys more
stopped at a
calories.
point.
right here?
When I worked
Why does she have so
for
many
years, I mean, I was a
have to
little
ask
overweight
her.
at times, okay? But basically, it was 200 to 205 at the most.
Okay.
I hit a point where I hit 214
Now-
at one time, and one
Well,
time
the one
I said,
cat-
I'm eating too many.
They both were rescue
But
cats. I
that,
should
I
be
was
really fair
stabilized there.
about
Then I went to 195 for one.
the one dog, which she
Then I
likes
got
the
down to
most,
190.
was the dog that I rescued.
Now I'm down
along,
at
I mean, I took her with me, but it
82
was
with my clothes
a
on, which
rescue
means
dog
I'm now
for
at
a lady
180.
who
Okay.
bred dogs for
180
years.
was the beginning of high
And then
school weight.
was getting
Yeah,
divorced.
85
She
was
had
a
all these
calories.
dogs,
What?
Need more calories.
and she didn't know what to do with them.
I'm eating
So she was
More.
giving them away.
more ice cream, more
And it was,
everything. But
It
I'm
is
active.
a Shih Tzu.
No,
And
I'm
it's adorable,
active.
and it
I know.
has the
You
best
gotta eat more.
personality. and
How the hell
far
can I
better
be
than
eating while I'm working out? Anyway, I won't take up time with
that
that.
are
You don't know. Okay, Zytiga and MDV 3100. May newsletter,
erotic dogs.
fast track.
Yeah.
I now have a.
And,
Did you read it?
No.
And then the
Us
cats,
too? I've got a copy.
one of them was
They
outside my
basically
office. It's
They're
0
gonna try
degrees
and get
outside.
an early
And it's on
access.
a
They formed an
5-foot
early access
snowdrift,
committee. and
meowing.
it's
And I'd seen
12.
it for a year.
So with
out
Zytiga,
at
is
nighttime
that the
when I
next
was
step?
asleep.
Yes. And let's get you
And
through this, and then yeah, go back on.
She
You wanna
sat
do
there
that
and
soon
meowed,
after
but I
this?
couldn't get her off the drip.
If I
And then
finish
when
it?
my partner came, she got her.
Yeah, I mean, I
It's gonna
think
be cute.
give you,
Okay.
So now
you
I
do
have
this,
Now you have
and
it.
then whenever
And
you
it's
see me for the
become
next
a- it's
infusion,
like my child.
or
She
the
runs to me when,
I'm sorry,
when I
your
come
next
home.
Jiva, when you see the-
And when I go to
we can
bed, she hops
talk
up
about
on
it
the
and
bed
start
and
with
crawls
that.
next to me.
This will get you on
She's like
cycle
a
with the
dog.
shots.
No, that's what I'm at. Okay,
So
that-
funny. My
See,
parents
we're
at
covering this
one
real
point
quickly if I can read what I'm
just
writing
randomly
down
ended up with
here.
3 cats and a dog. And
There was a paper out of
I
Stanford.
we had this one
so
cat
that
forever.
just
It was an
now-
outdoor cat, so she wasn't
This
around
is
that long.
early.
Or
Mice.
around that much. And then I got a
This
kid,
is
then we had a
viewed by
dog,
the
and then I got a
people.
cat. Well, then my older
It's a
brother
beautiful long paper.
found a cat at the
They
bottom of this
found
fraternity house who had
7
been
top tumors.
abused
They found
and all that stuff, so they kept
CD,
her.
There's 45 or 47.
But the second cat, my
That is
dad just didn't
universal
really like him.
for all the
He
tumors.
Okay.
loved only
And
my dad. I
what
mean, he
they're
loved
gonna do
me,
is
and it was
they're
my
gonna
dad.
go,
Right.
But
looking
he
at human
would
trials for every
always,
2
I mean,
years.
same
But the
thing.
point
He
is,
would go to bed,
it's the
he
same
just
thing
was-
as this, only this will expand.
Great.
But of course,
Wouldn't it be nice to
they
use it for
became
breast? No,
yeah,
you know,
great.
The cat wore him down.
word.
good. And my dad's
Just
not really
thinking
even a
hot
cat person.
flashes for women. Anyway, what else? Okay, 2 ibuprofen at any time.
You're
or not?
crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
They're
the
such a
the
handful.
most amount of ibuprofen you can
Yeah.
have in a 24-hour period is 2,400 milligrams. So each pill is 200.
I thought that was Tylenol.
Motrin. Yeah. So you can do 600 4 times a day, you can do 800 3 times a day, 400 6 times a day, whatever you
Well, I've
want.
done 3 at one time.
That's
I've done 4. You
That's
know, I'm not concerned about it. I'm a nihilist. Trust me.
No, just whatever dose, it's fine.
Because it does work.
Yep.
And I didn't know why.
Okay. Let's see what else.
And I couldn't get him out of the kitchen.
Any way of doing the emergency if and when, you know, like I talked to Dr. Schott because we have a problem
And I
with
finally
clotting and
figured
everything
out,
else.
Okay.
because I spoke to
And I
my
told him
parents.
eyeball to eyeball.
And my father
He gave me his emergency
said,
number.
when
They
they
had
left,
problems
he had a
with
little
his
bit of his
office.
cologne left in a
And what
bottle, and he
happens is,
decided, oh, I'm not going to take this home with me.
I swore to him I
And
would
this
never
thing,
use it. That's what, you know what I mean?
Yeah, wow.
I said,
They were waiting
look
for
at
it,
me,
they
wow.
sprayed his cologne.
Okay.
Yeah.
I said, I trust you.
That's
I would not
that's
do
a good
that unless it was something like
These
what
two
just
are-
happened, because I want to tell you, I was,
They belong to this woman.
now, I could have, and I have trouble.
She spoils them.
If the
There's no
second one
rules.
is, for a lot of people, worse than
And
the
therefore,
first.
well, number one,
I don't want
because
to, I don't
never had my
use,
whole life.
don't,
Has now for the last 2 weeks of cleaning all this up, which is something that I'd rather go walk a dog at 4 o'clock in the morning than have to do that.
Who to call if you
And
have a problem?
I have, and so to come here this morning, I had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to feed the dogs, feed the cats, clean everything up, and then drive down to the train.
Gotta call you.
Why don't you just put your name on the list? for
Especially over the
Saturday?
weekend, because
Yeah.
my pager's not on
Yeah,
if it's going.
and
Numbers for the city.
I only did it where my office is, which is in Highland Park. I lived there for 32 years. Actually, I lived there for 40 years. But I lived in this one place for 32 years, and the business went to hell. A guy scammed me several years ago, and I was broke. You know, I went from making $300,000 or $400,000 a year to broke.
If you leave
And,
a message, just say this. If it's emergency, you know the email.
Yeah.
If it's you can wait a couple of hours, speak to the nurse because.
Well, I applied
may
because
not
two
get to it
of
till
my
the next day,
I found a friend of mine who was a band leader for years. He was just a dynamite guy, and he could play. He used to be on WGN a lot, and he started losing the sight in one eye and then both eyes because he had diabetes. Then his wife died, and he basically almost died from just depression. And he was living with his daughter. She was supposedly taking care of him. It's such a horrible story. He's such a great guy. She was stealing from him. She stole over $40,000 out of his account.
Basically, it's just you call
And he called me one day and says, I have to find a place to live.
Basically, you just call.
And, you know, some things are meant to be. I'm not a real estate agent. I went on the internet. I'm going to all these different places and whatever, and he wanted to be out in the Lake Villa area. That's where he grew up. And I find this one place. Well, now he's best friends with the woman who runs the place. Everybody in the joint, you can't help but not like the guy because he's funny. And he has a great sense of humor, even though he can't see for shit. And I didn't apply out there because that's almost 30 miles from my office. And so I applied in the place in Highland Park.
Have you gotten on the HUD website? Because there's a lot.
Yeah,
We don't know about it.
I'll have to do that. You know
I
what?
thought we were only the CAJ building.
No.
So that's why I said, I think it was terrible. I
They
think
can't. They're gonna come interrupt me and get me or whatever.
community management companies for national companies.
We do.
Other HUD buildings.
Other HUD building? And you can find this on the HUD site?
It just says please have.
I have to be honest, when I started to do that,
So they called Mr. Cohen.
very rarely do I ever get where I don't want to. It depressed me because it brought back all the. I said, I can't believe I'm doing this.
I know, and that's what I
So I just sort of get that across.
but day by day, and it's temporary. And I now have my name on it to other buildings. That's what better buildings.
Everybody does the
Yeah.
same thing.
Where is this? Is this in the city?
That's how the office works.
I have another friend. I sort of knew him, and then his mother.
You have to look at it, it's a temporary
So, you know, I mean,
Right.
talk to somebody about
You'll get, everything will come back.
The reason he's in this Presbyterian building down in the Hollywood area, whatever.
There's not much I can do over the phone anyway.
Can't beat it. He's got free internet access. He's got this. He's got that. They take a third of his Social Security, and there's another place down the street where for $1 he gets a huge lunch. It's like dinner. And so he said you ought to come down. I said yeah, but then I'd have to take the guy. I wouldn't take me an hour and a half to get to work from where you are.
And then they will get one, and then the nurse will. If they can answer it, they will.
Yeah, I'm gonna go do that.
And there's shots according to how many buildings there are.
Wow.
That are senior buildings that aren't CHA and are local buildings.
You know, I would take anything now because all I need is a room by myself. That's all I want. You know.
Yeah, we have to because if you can imagine, if every patient
I'm
calls,
sorry?
I want to speak. I would have 1,000 phone calls
2.5
at the
years.
end of the day every day, and that's impossible. It's impossible.
There's nothing wrong with doing it that way, but somebody has to triage it quickly.
People are crazy.
Who is it?
People are crazy.
It's
I'm a photographer.
the logistics don't.
I mean, that's what
matter to you.
I used to be a physicist, but I'm a photographer for the last.
There's a triage nurse every day.
Well, that too.
If answering those phones, if she's on the phone,
Yeah.
it goes into the voicemail, and then she goes through the voicemail.
I've been in people's homes where
Like 6 or 7.
I came there to photograph them and their kids, and, which I don't like to do in their house because then
But you got to see on the
they
message,
have all
like,
the
look,
power.
I really need
But
a nurse to
if
call
they're
me back.
paying, I'm going.
Then they will.
And what I saw, I was, you know, you only think that people live the way you grew up. And what I saw, I've been astounded.
Okay.
And I repeat the phone number.
Okay. Okay. Good.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But
And if, in some cases I say, if I'm not there, leave the message. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not happy there, and it's not where I want to be. But the
I think you know who I am already.
Yeah.
Pain in the ass, but that's okay.
and have my own.
What was the last one? We just scribbled it.
See, I was alone since I got divorced the second time.
That's what I'm saying. Get on the
Everything, no, the point is, what side effects
You have to drive a
could I
little
expect that are different?
Yeah, I'm willing to do that. I just, I don't want to drive to Lake because they have an opening up there where my friend is.
Right.
But
I mean,
it's like, this is so far away. This is, I'll be losing half my income in gas just going back and
during the
forth.
infusion that is possible. The delayed, I mean, I think you're right on target. I think it's an inflammatory
I will
thing.
do that.
It's your immune system
I will do
running off,
that.
So that's why I think the anti-inflammatories are ideal.
Which synagogue?
Well, the question is this, you treat the symptom for anti-inflammatory, does it affect the
You mean Sinai?
No,
it's
it affects the.
Oh, there's another one down
It's
there?
not going to get rid of them. It's not
What's
going
that
to
called?
suppress them indefinitely. It's just during that period.
well, it lasts?
So,
Right. It's temporary. That's right. But it's not permanent.
No, I'm talking about, like,
So what are you doing right now?
I'm trying to get the time.
I'm surprised they haven't really made something to make it faster in this high-tech world.
This is pretty high tech, I would say, just the medication.
Yeah, the medication's pretty high tech.
The drip rate.
Oh, how to calculate the drip rate?
It's still, it's back in the early glass bottle days.
Well, you can't run it through the pump. Otherwise, we would just make it real easy. I count it one more time.
Oh, you can't go through the pump
That's why.
because it screws up the cells. Like the.
They should have a little bit of a gauge here that makes it sort of like, you could set it, and it would be very accurate.
Set it and
Dial-a-dose.
forget
They
it.
have that, dial-a-dose on some hospitals.
have it.
Okay, now I have to count again. You can't talk and count. You know what? I think you're gonna have to keep your arm a little bit straighter, just
Down like that?
where it is. Yeah. I was wondering why this was slowing down. Sorry about that.
No, far be it for me to try to be comfortable.
I know, right? Okay, that's good. But you are, like I said, you're gonna have to keep your arm straight, okay?
Is mine going a little fast?
No, yours is, she timed it, I saw her. I haven't counted it, but
It's starting to build up on the bottom of the shoulder.
oh no, that's normal, so is his.
Oh, yeah.
It's supposed
But it
to.
was slower than last time.
I can have her recount it.
No, I mean, it wouldn't make any, it's the same as what you're doing over
Right.
there. She just had the level much lower before.
Oh, in the little tube.
And
Yeah.
that's what's starting to work its way back up.
That'd be great. Thanks.
I just have major trepidation about this re-infusion because number 2 was horrendous.
On the way home, when you're at home?
No, I'm not even
No,
over
later.
yet.
It takes about 8 hours for it to start to.
No,
Really?
I'm not talking about immediate. I'm talking about the the whole trip.
How'd you feel? Tell me.
There's pages written down, everything. Ouch. You didn't quite get that.
I'll just give it here. Really? Because it went in perfectly.
I know, but nobody ever misses like that.
What?
It goes in painlessly.
I'm like that. I can't get any better than that right there.
Oh no, you got it in the center. But you hit the wall. I know they're wide. I don't like the flexible ones. I hope the heck it's no worse, better than the second one.
I know. Well, luckily this is your last.
Luckily, I almost didn't come down. Okay? I'm back, and I'm tough.
He is tough.
I really,
right.
really am. I had mental problems. I had everything in the
Well, you've
world
had
but a
mental
headache.
problems ever since I've known you.
No, I had everything but a headache. In major, major, uncontrollable ways, with throbbing pains, with changing, insane things. Things that are not listed as side effects.
Yeah, but you gotta
And
stop
they
taking
were
the
directly
LSD with
related.
it, you
What?
know. You gotta stop taking the LSD.
Oh no, I was pretty close to, and I never had those problems before.
I don't mean Lakeshore Drive. Yeah. By the way, I know the kid that wrote Lakeshore Drive. His mother was my secretary, and he used to be my drug dealer.
Used to be your what?
My drug dealer in the 60s.
Oh, what the heck?
Do you know the kid who wrote what? Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds?
No,
That
no,
one?
no.
The
Like,
Beatles one?
there's
Those were
a
his
song called
initials.
Lakeshore Drive,
His initials were LSD.
and it's by Eliota Haynes Jeremiah,
Okay.
and Haynes is Skip Haynes,
Okay.
and his mom was my secretary.
Oh, very cool.
You have
Did you
no-
know that her son was helping you out?
Not then. No, not then.
I'm going to move your camera just for a second, okay?
Yeah, here.
I don't want you to get...
Yeah. I'm sure that's only a $3 camera.
Yeah, it's a cheap one. I actually have 35 of these because I was gonna, I
What
still
are the
am,
Canons? Yeah.
teach a class, and I wanted everybody to have the same camera because it's not the camera, it's the operator.
No kidding.
Yeah, I know it's a shocking thing to admit.
Well, it's easier when you tell them they're doing something wrong, though. Because you don't have to think what camera they have.
Well,
Go look at it.
you know, you get so many gadgets and so many things, you don't understand what the hell it is you're doing.
I love these wraparound bandages. I'm saving some of them. I
Really?
have to buy some more. No, as a bicyclist,
Oh, yeah.
people go down, if they have a couple of gauze pads, everything else, you can wrap it up and compress it quite fast when somebody has an accident. And actually even use it as a tourniquet.
Oh, yeah.
Quickly.
Yeah.
And then if people talk too much like I do, you just put it right
Put it right on their mouth.
It works very well, right?
Sounds perfect. Watch what you say. You never know.
Is everything warmed up?
If I come in here and see him all taped up over his mouth, I'll know.
You'll know.
I can't believe all this stuff is happening to you. I really cannot believe
You
that.
know,
That story is beyond belief. I mean, I don't think I would have a retort. I think I'd be in shock for about a half hour.
Well, I was. The first thing I did, I also rescued a dog, a little Shih Tzu, and and she loved that dog. She has 2 poodles, which I hate, and I
I
picked
told
the
you
dog.
I had a Shih Tzu and can't
Right.
get another dog.
Larry, I need you to take the Tylenol on your Benadryl.
Okay, should I take some ibuprofen now or not?
Well, I'm giving you Tylenol, so
I
you
know.
should be okay.
I haven't had any problems with the infusions before,
Okay.
but he mentioned I probably should have, and I forgot. I got them in my pocket, but
Shannon, you should tell every woman you know should read this book. Because in a way it's more about you and what can happen to you than it is about other things.
Really?
Yeah. And if I were a woman, I would be terrified.
Oh, no. I like light reading. I work here. I like light reading.
yeah, no, it isn't. Today it's pleasant, isn't it? this isn't, there's something wrong here. What is it?
I don't know.
I don't have a spot to put my arm.
Oh yeah, pull the thing around.
It's,
But
yeah, I
if
could go
there's
around
water
there,
in the
but it
glass,
isn't
put the
there.
glass over.
yeah, I'd have to drop that and just use the arm.
Put the glass over here or over
Watch
there,
your camera.
and then you can swing that arm over. There you go.
I will be so happy if this is just an easy run. You know what I mean? A normal.
You and me both.
I don't mind. Believe me, I don't take Novocaine at the dentist. I told you.
Oh no.
When I tell you something is no, I seriously I don't. And you know why I tell him that? I said, look, he's up in North Arlington Heights. There are 3 brothers. They have a beautiful new office. They're very good. I've had people come in, friends of mine. They can't find dentists. He fixes their mouths. And the 3 of them work together. They subspecialize, and the son of one of them is there. The father was a dentist on Peterson. They closed that office, just west
Yeah,
of Weston.
because everything
And
changed
he's,
over there.
all 3 are different personalities. You know, and when I go to is a talker like me and so on. It's just what it was. My mother went to him too. The family did. And they are good dentists.
Oh, is that my shirt? I can get
And when I tell him it needs a little bit more sanding, a little bit more grinding, he argues with me, and I said, you're wrong. And he says, I know I should listen to you. He said, every time, you know what I mean? Now he has cameras and everything, and he can look at it. He says, you're right. I said, okay, at this point, could you please polish it? He said, when did you get your dental degree?
Yeah, dental degree.
I said, I was 2 years ahead of you. What the hell are you talking about? I just don't practice. You're still practicing. You notice? You don't know how to do it yet. But he takes the guff. My buddy used to stick her finger in his nose and say, look, you do. So funny. Listen, life has all of the twists and turns.
Yeah, you have to open your eyes and be willing to participate.
And able.
Well,
I've been
Yeah,
dancing.
okay.
I've been dancing a lot.
yeah, you
My
told me
wife
that.
won't go. Her foot hurts, this, that, and the rest. Well, it just so happens at this particular time, for some crazy reason, the gal says, you know, lay off for several weeks. And your wife's gone, then we go again. She told me something. It's a year and a half. I never play games, and I haven't yet. I mean, it's just a matter of having some fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why should I not? How many men are sitting in there, they don't talk?
Yeah, I know.
They're
Don't
dead
get me
in the
started
world.
with that.
They're not living worth a damn. They have no spark any place.
Yeah.
You know many of them.
Yes, I do. I used to go to a restaurant, which I went all the time, and we would look around, and there would be people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and they would sit there for a whole meal and never say a word to each other. And I'm like,
And the young group says, talks and talks and talks, and we, oh, ha, ha, yeah, you're right, oh, sure. And they're talking about topics that have no meaning for hours.
Yeah.
Drinking a beer, doing their thing, ha, 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 ha. Worse yet, he. Right? How's that for a photographer? It's like a little kid that when you say, smile, you want to take a picture? What does a kid do
There's
automatically?
only one word that you can't
Take it like
use.
this.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I have a theory, and the theory is that the face you give is the face you figured out to give your parents when you were a little kid, when they said smile, and you didn't know what the hell they were talking about. You contorted your face until they stopped saying that. And that's the face you use the rest of your life when somebody says that. So
I don't.
On my jobs, if a parent says that to their kids, I make them go take a time out. Because we don't use that word.
Now, if you tell me to say cheese, I'll ask you what kind.
I don't use that either.
No, I wouldn't either. And in fact, what you do is you distract them.
That's exactly
You're
it.
better off doing that. In
You
a nice
make them
way.
think about something
say,
else.
Take a look at that picture I have on the wall back there. For 1 second, I want you to tell me, and as they turn back to look at you, you have a real picture. If it's something that makes you smile a little bit, and you want to smile, in most cases, if they don't smile, they either aren't too smart for their age for the picture. You might want to have different pictures. But anything, I mean, it's so easy to get a natural laugh. It is really.
I tell them,
You know what I do? I can wiggle my ears separately and together.
I used to. I can't do it anymore.
No, I can. In fact, they got stronger over the years. You know what I did? I made a silent language with this gal. I was sitting there. I said, I don't want anybody to hear us talking. So, listen, this is yes, this is no, and this would be maybe. And that was just a month ago. But I've never lost my child, neither have you.
No.
Never.
Please don't take that away from me.
Never. That's the spice of life. That's the pure middle cambrium of the tree.
I was traveling one time from 6 in the morning. So I went down to Roatan, which is a little island off of Honduras. I was a scuba diver. I was an avid scuba diver.
I can't hear you though.
I was an avid scuba diver. And I went on a trip, and I spent 12 hours, 13 or 14 hours, to get to this little island. And then we get to this island, and now I have to go in a little boat, like a little bigger than a canoe, about 50, 60 yards to the next little island, which is really a little island, because that's where the houses or the little cabins where we were going to stay.
Did they make this more complicated?
No, I'm just telling you this. And so I've been restrained in airplanes and sitting in airports the whole time. So I'm down there, I'm sitting in the boat, and it's like absurd to me. I'm a scuba diver, and we're taking this little boat across over the water. And I said, you know, screw this. I stood up, I took off my shirt, and I just jumped in the water. One of the best things I ever did. They all thought I was crazy. I said, "What? We came down here to go in the water, didn't we? You've been on airplanes the whole day, and actually in the middle of the night. So let's get in the water."
Well, the difference is this. As a photographer, you're always an individualist.
I hadn't thought
Think
about it
back.
that way, but yeah, I understand.
I mean, you're creative. That isn't the point. The point is you listen to your inner self more than the average person does.
So I found out.
The inner self, and I've done much reading. I'm still reading another one. Over a long time, on top of much else. It's about the soul.
Mm-hmm.
I understand what it is.
That's all that you have.
It is you.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
The rest of it is all bullshit. Until the computer came out, I didn't have the total picture. The brain definitely works as a computer. It has no emotions.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
It can
about.
create emotions from the soul.
Right.
Anger, happiness, whatever. And a lot of it you can control.
How's it going?
It went.
It's terrible. It's just terrible.
So I never did ask you, what is it that you feel like after this?
When I take the bus over to the train.
Yep.
And the bus ride is usually fine. On the train, I start getting tired. The first time I just broke out into a cold sweat.
Okay.
And
So it hits you pretty quick.
yeah, but it's just not like right away. The last time, I got on the train and I started to feel I'm fairly energetic, believe it or not, and I was like, shit, I'm getting really tired. I had a book, I couldn't read the book. I was afraid I'd sleep through my stop. Got in the car, went to the office, that's 3-4 miles. Got over there and I said, I can't work, I'm too tired. I went home to the place that I'm now thrown out of. And I went to bed on 6:30 on Friday, and I really didn't become functional until the middle of the day on Monday.
So
I
you
just
get
knocked
really
out.
extremely fatigued.
Yeah.
Do you get chills at all?
I didn't.
Okay.
I
So
didn't.
just
I
the
just got
fatigue is
really,
what really.
fatigued beyond
Okay.
what I'm normally
Okay.
accustomed to.
Sure. I know that the second one is the worst, typically. So let's hope that.
Yeah, especially for him. You know, hope for him. He got a lot worse than I did.
Guys, this is your last one today.
See, See, I don't know if that's good or bad because I like to know that things are still being done for me.
Yeah.
So you give me a treatment and then you throw me out and say, oh, hopefully it
That's not
works.
what we're doing. Stop it. I do like your camera is just focused in on you.
Yeah.
Oh, are you taking a video?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He has wisdom.
Well, I interrupted.
You're not taking the picture of...
Come over. A pretty girl can always come over here.
Michael, you got to take the picture of everybody that's talking to you.
No, we don't need pictures.
They always run
continue
away.
on.
When I turn the camera, they start running away.
Who does she work for?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Ask her what her name is. I don't know. What are you doing? They got so many people, they don't know what the hell they're doing.
She probably walked in and saw those lab coats, put it on, and just figured she'd kind of go with the flow.
That's because you look like a kindly old gentleman. You see, around Christmas time, you can go put the pillow on and go out and do your thing.
Lately,
again.
I don't even need the pillow lately.
But you have to develop your ho-ho-ho a little bit more, a little louder. It's, you know, life is a venture. You've had a lot of adventure.
I have.
More than I have.
Probably.
My wife, oh no, part of it is my wife helped me back. And I regret that too.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I gave in on a lot of things. And, I mean, I went 66, I was in Orange County, you know, in San
Orange
Diego.
County?
And oh yeah, in fact, I worked in the drug business 40 years.
Right.
I was down there during the drug time in the emergency room helping them hold patients while they're doing spinals and everything else. I mean, I've had experience.
Wow.
I saw the first,
At
at Loyola, I was at the second open heart surgery with Roqueffery. I was the only one in the gallery, and I went down afterward, knew the anesthesiologist, and I'm watching him close up. He's pointing out everything. I've seen so much.
Wow.
I mean, the beginning of oncology, there were only 5 guys that started when I did. They were oncologists. I got my training here at Northwestern, the first training class. A guy from NCI came down and taught the first 3 fellows and the radiation people. And I sat in on all the lectures. I went to all the tumor boards in all the major hospitals. Before that,
You ought to write a
I
book.
started with all the new penicillins.
You ought to write a history of what you saw develop
Well,
over the
58
years.
to 98 I worked. That's a span of
time.
the old timers. I had the guy, I remember stopping Jacob Greenhill one day in the middle of a conversation. He had a big practice. He was an old timer. Beautiful suite up on top.
Yeah, just take it out.
And I said, Dr. Greenhill, how can you carry on a full practice of surgery with a big practice like this, be the editor of the Journal of OB-GYN, and do this looking sharp? Where do you get the time? How do you do it? I learned lots from the old timers. And he told me, he said, don't tell anybody. He said, I take cat naps. He said, I'm able to tell the girl up front, no disturbance. He said, no more than 20 minutes, usually around 15, between 15 and 20. And I tried that afterward. It does work when you need it, but I just don't do it like he did it. He had 4 hours sleep a night, he told me. That was it. Never more. And that's how he accomplished all this stuff. He didn't take tons of cat naps, but he had time where he knew it would be the best, most beneficial
That makes
for him.
good sense to me.
The what?
That makes good sense to me.
Well, that was years and years and years ago. There was a guy in the Pittsfield building that was down there talking to the few reps. They still have a lot of them get together. We still have a get together, but an awful lot of them are dead. Some are senile. It was a day and age that was so completely different. I mean, the people that were in it had backgrounds. I mean, I had a background before I ever started in the business. There were no women in it. There were no dinners and lunches and garbage.
Yeah.
It turned my stomach. It's sort of like everybody's a photographer. They got a camera.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
I face it every day.
I mean, it's not being hypercritical. It's just being like, what did you do? And then you're overpaying them terribly. I grew up in a time that was difficult. I ended up doing all my own research on antibiotics and cancer. I still keep up. I give him papers.
I know you
And
do.
I-
I know you
But it
do.
isn't the point. Is it? My wife said, oh, it's an obsession. I said, no, that was my business. And I'm involved finally. You know, as I told some people, one time it slipped out. I said, "You live by the sword?" And the radiation guy says, "I hope not, but I've been doing this for 20 years." I said, "Well, you never know." Well, where did you move to? My neck is hurting.
I belong to the Jewish War Veterans Post 29, and the commander became a friend of mine, and so is the former commander. And I'm living in his basement until I can figure out what the hell I'm going to do. He lives with his wife and her twin sister. That alone has made it more than worthwhile to live down in the basement. It's a trip, man.
You only got one way to well, actually, you got two ways. You can go further down into.
I go a little further down.
Or when you're younger, there's only one way to go up, right? I don't know. Each day is different. You get yourself together as long as he doesn't. If it's not, if it's a somewhat, how do you say? Obviously, it's temporary.
Yeah.
But that isn't the point. How temporary? No one's probably.
I have to leave by June 1st because they've got relatives coming.
Because who?
By June 1st, they have relatives coming.
Ouch.
So I told the other commander's wife, she's somebody you'd love to talk to her. She's a former opera singer, jazz. She's amazing. And she's 80 years old and opinionated as hell and knows all the political ins and outs and she's just anyway. She called up. She invited me to come for Mother's Day because they own a restaurant in Skokie, and I said, "Well, I'd love to." And so we chat, and I told her the story. She said, "Well, after you're done with Joe's house, you can come here and stay." Her husband has a big office that they built above the garage with a bathroom and a shower and everything. So you'll stay over there until you get together.
Is it insulated? Well, somewhat.
Yeah. Well, it's insulated from the house in that there's there's stairs that come up there from the garage. That's the only way you can get there.
No, well, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, it's done with insulation as well as. You probably won't. Do they have a window air conditioner in there or no?
They got everything there.
Everything's in there?
Yeah, it's a great big office like.
Hey, listen, if you come down to, you know what, we like you here. If you don't mind it for a period of time and you need an extension, and I'm sure that we can carry you to pay rent. Depends on whether they're going to use it or not, if you like it.
Well,
sometimes those places are much better than going into a building with somebody with a radio and a stereo set and walking around the floor with wooden, with those Dutch shoes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know
Dogs
exactly.
barking. And I'm not joking. Sometimes they're quiet, and that's what you need.
Yeah, well, this is quiet. As is the basement. The basement's very quiet, except at 3 o'clock this morning, his computer wakes itself up to do uploads.
The what? I can't hear.
His computer wakes itself up to do uploads and downloads and whatever.
Yeah, I don't. I keep mine off.
I keep mine off.
It was a huge one. I got 19 on Windows this morning at 5.
Well, anyway, the damn thing wakes up at 3 in the morning, and I'm like, is there somebody down here with me?
But it shouldn't be doing that. It should be.
He puts it to sleep so that it does wake up. Okay. He doesn't turn it off. And so it did wake up. And so eventually I went over to it and I said, you got to go to sleep because I don't need this now.
There's no reason. I mean, first of all, it would be nice if you had a little light go on the computer saying you have heavy downloads, especially, more than 3.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in a slower speed versus a faster speed, it depends. I can't get a faster speed. Most of the time I don't need it. But I don't get on the computer every day.
I'm on there. That's the only way. That's my whole business is. Without it, I have no business
That's
anymore.
Different.
I don't send things out. I upload, I download. I upload, I download.
You got laziness now, not busy.
Not because I wanted it that way.
No, I know. Not self-induced.
Not self-induced
all you got to do is figure out something else now.
Oh, well, that's what I'm trying to do. That's why I bought 35 of these. and the cases, and I was in the middle of, I have a website up
Right.
for it, but it's incorrect, and then I lost everything, so I have to start from scratch.
Well, for a little extra, you know, places like senior centers, they hire people to do teaching.
That's what I'm going to do.
You know, in the city, you get things on that order. Picking up, potentially, actually even starting in a different area.
Yeah. Well, my sister wants
Doing
me.
what you were doing. I mean, not the people you knew.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
My sister wants me to come up to Montana.
I mean, but it teaches you a lesson. I mean, what's that word? Go sip? Hand somebody a straw with a little so-and-so. Shove it up your nose.
I don't know that one.
I never talk about people. Never, ever, ever, unless it's sometimes good. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I learned a long time ago, it's not my business to talk about things I learn about people.
That's a very good quality for you to
And that
have.
isn't a quality, it's something that is. I mean, it's like you're honest or you're dishonest. You're super greedy or you're not. Are you altruistic or... I mean, at what point, where do you get the balance of reasonability? But there's, you know, the do unto others kind of stuff, especially when it comes down to somebody that tells you, if they start to gossip, I don't go into it.
Right.
I just don't. I mean, I don't want to know.
It's like a live soap opera.
Well, it tells you the people have no depth and they have nothing to talk
They have
about.
nothing to talk about.
Yeah, there's nothing else to talk about.
That's
Living
where I
soap
lived.
opera, as you said. It's a living soap opera. That's why all those programs have a following. I mean, there are many people that have the problem.
I know.
If you're watching it to learn something, that's something else. Because there are
No,
lessons
they're
in
just
everything.
watching it to occupy the time of their life, and then it's over.
You notice how every year goes faster than the year before?
Yeah, that's because you're more aware, and there's.
No.
Yeah, to me, it is.
When you were a kid, every year moved a little bit faster. Some years were like 10 years
Yeah,
now. But it just kept picking up more and more.
but I still think it's because you become more aware as you're older, and you realize there's more to do, there's more you can do. When you're a kid, you're like, I used to sit in, well, that's why I got in trouble. I would sit in class in grade school, they had a big clock, and I just watched the hands go around. I couldn't wait to get out
You
of
weren't
it.
constipating, were you?
Huh? I was a lot of things.
No, part of it was, it's beside daydreaming. What you're looking at is a situation whereby, why do you want to learn? Anything.
For me,
Anybody.
well,
Want to learn.
it improves your
Make
ability
money.
to cope with what's around you.
There's an esoteric to it. But when I'm talking about most people are animal. It's money. It's holding on to my money or forms thereof. It's looking good to other people.
Yeah.
I didn't care ever. When I go out, we used to go out in conversation, the more people there, the less I talked. The conversations were always, and my wife still believes this, were nonsense. The price of tea in China kind of thing, you know, nothing of any depth, because you might upset someone.
That's
So what
all.
are you talking about? I can't be responsible for, if there were 20 people in a room, I might upset one of the 20, maybe more. How can I control that?
You can't.
They have to control themselves.
That's right.
They can shut it off, they can leave, they say, I don't agree, they could fight with you. They can make the choice if they're an adult, not a child. I said, I agree with a child. I said, but adults are responsible for themselves.
Right.
There's a thing of argumentation. If you say you're argumentative, that's a negative. It isn't.
No, it's a stimulus.
Good. I like that one. You hit it on the nose. I didn't have a word for it. But the idea is that argumentation was not a debate. It was stating certain facts, or, in a sense, countering certain so-called facts.
Right.
And facts change. I always tell people, it's not that change is required. We have to change everything every minute. We're going into that now.
Yeah,
That's
we are.
chaos.
Yeah, it's chaos.
You know, like you have to have the upgraded camera. You have to have a new program to stick in there, a new chip, a new this, a new that, a new this. Okay. My camera's 2 years old. I can't get stuff for it. Well, we don't stock it anymore. The other is, and I grew up with no change. I went from the Depression
Well, you
to
grew up when
1950 with no change.
when something broke, they
But I
used
was
to
in
fix it.
college when change started. I'm pretty close. It was 52, 53. I was finished with high school at 53.
You finished in high school in '53. Well, then you're 53. That would be 7.
Uh-oh.
No, that's only 5 then. Because I finished in '58.
What?
How old are you?
76?
Yeah, okay. I thought you were 80. That's
No.
probably I thought you told me you were
I
80.
got 3 years and 9 months.
No, that's Lloyd's. Yeah, okay, yeah.
No, I said I'm closer to
So,
80 than
so
70.
53. So that's you're 3.
That's a
I'm
way of
having a hard time right now.
I'm closer to 90 than 60.
You're you're 5 years ahead of me.
It's a big difference. My sister.
Not anymore.
No, it's a big difference. My sister's 5 years behind me, and my brother's exactly 6 and 1 day. They didn't experience almost everything that I did.
Really?
Changes. They didn't have a depression, didn't have World War II, and didn't have the recession afterward. Everything started coming up in their memory. Think of the difference between 45 and 50. They were too young to remember before that. My wife as well. In other words, everything started going up in 1950. New cars were coming out in 49, 50, television sets, new telephones.
Right.
I didn't see any change for most of my formative life. And it was depression-based. Nothing changed. Nothing. Teachers were tough, too.
Yeah, they were.
Very.
Teacher ruled.
Where did you grow up? What area?
Hyde Park.
Okay. I grew up in Albany Park when it was
Grew up
different.
in Hyde Park, and then my folks
That's a good
forever
spot.
damaged me, and they moved to Glencoe. And I was
That's a
fucked
big
up
job.
ever since.
That's a big deal. Oops.
Because I had nothing in common with those
Now I
people.
get the real stuff, not the phony stuff, huh?
Yeah, you get your own stuff back.
Now wait a second. I hope it's 100 proof, not
Right.
80. Now, if I get up and start doing an Irish U, what would you say?
I would be impressed. I would be impressed.
I'd rather impress people than depress them.
C-O-N-D-A-R-I.
It's sort of the same word, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you make an impression, you can be depressing.
Compressed, depressed.
Yeah, and leather, paper.
Chains. Oil.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm an official drip when she
695.
finishes.
2714.
You have to be quiet, she's counting.
This is the hardest part.
No.
Does she do the old photography count?
You know what?
They'll ask you later, but how you count seconds?
What kind of...
Yeah, 1001,
Remember?
1002, 1003.
Oh, can
I
you-
used to do that.
That's
I used to do that in the darkroom. I had a timer,
Oh, yeah.
and I used to
Well, I told you,
see,
my friend was.
without looking at the timer, I used to see, can I nail 45 seconds?
Yeah,
And I could pretty much nail 45
That's gotta be her.
seconds.
You get good at it after a
Yeah.
while.
She'll know who you are, I'm sure.
Oh, I hope so.
But the actual count can be still faster or slower, and over a period of time, you're right on.
Yeah, you're right on. That's what I found.
Oh,
You know,
yeah, Angie.
if you start counting too fast, something in your head slows it back down again.
Weird, isn't it?
There's a real good thing on that, and it was a book I read about
You
it.
notice how you automatically seek balance? If you just let it alone.
Now it's going to bother me. I read a book about who was it? I think it's Richard Freierman. Richard. He was a physicist.
Simon who?
Richard Freierman.
Oh, okay. Who's that?
He is you should go look him up. You like his stuff. They have his lectures on tape and now converted to DVDs because he was that good.
Different types of lectures on different esoterics?
He mixed physics with real life, and therefore his lessons were fascinating. And you didn't have to be a physicist to enjoy them. And
Does he spell his name
F-R-Y-M-A-N.
E-Y?
F-Y-R-M-A-N. Richard. He passed away like 20 years ago, and he's famous. He's more famous now probably than when, and he was on the bomb project.
Most of the good books I told you are older.
Guy was a real trip. He never lost his child. Never lost his child.
Well, what was it exactly? Give me one word to describe it.
Free. He was free. He was free to think and free to do.
That's what fry man means.
Yeah.
F-R-E-I?
No.
In German.
Yeah, it's German, but his was F-R. I think it's F-Y-R-M-A-N. I got I got it screwed up in the beginning, and now I can never remember which one is right. But I have his books, and I have...
He made French fries.
French fries? No, that's when on drugs you get fried.
But they should have been called American fries. I don't care.
Yeah.
They were French cut.
French cut American fries.
But I don't remember French ever cutting them that way. I never saw it.
Well, they probably use that to help sell it.
Something wrong. So you have to spot it right away and say, okay, let's see what we can do about this. Whether you tell a joke or you do something else, you know. But it's not a it's a way of looking at the world to avoid the potholes and the grief.
We're all like picking out on it.
You mean?
It's not taking the easy way as the other side sees it. No, they're A to B people. They don't think.
I know. I can't be like
that. They don't think. They're executives. That's the shortest route.
You don't think you're going to eat it?
This is what after a while, no, we might lose our head. We have to have consultants. Blame it on them. If it doesn't work, we fire them. What?
In the original business I was in, it was a technical business, and we knew the business.
Sure.
But one of the higher ups said, you know, we have to have some consultants come in here and tell us how to run the business. So we had these guys come in, and they made this big presentation afterwards. And that's when I learned that the best consultant is somebody who is working in your company, who probably knows everything you want to know,
sure.
But you're not letting him know. You're not allowing him to input.
No, they stopped a long time ago listening to employees, and listening to customers has been in for well over 10 years.
Did we do this over 2 hours usually?
Well, we ended up
suggestion boxes.
We ended up with a suggestion box and awards, cash, at the end of the year for those people who took the time to try to explain something.
Eustas. I have a book that should be called Eusta.
Eusta.
U.S.
Eusta.
United States what?
Yeah.
Come up with it. I haven't thought about it.
It was just under 300 that she thought.
But there are tons of Eustas. Change is good.
Not always.
I tell people this is not what made America great.
No, it's not.
And yet they don't know any other way anymore. They've been educated out of Washington. You know the curriculum comes out of Washington. The approved textbooks do. If you try
they come
to do
from
something
Texas.
different, you don't get any money with revenue sharing and or direct money for education. Go tax your people heavier and heavier. Directly. But that's what's happening. It's been happening for too long now. You'll never get back the old ways. They don't want you to think.
Yeah.
Memorize, A, B, C, D, or E.
That, and they want you dependent on them. And they're doing a pretty good job of it with 46 million people or 56 million on food stamps.
And how
they're
many?
doing a really good job.
No, but how many of them are employed by the government in one level or another?
Yeah.
About 1 in 3.
1 in 3. That's frightening.
Then I know what they're doing. I told you, I know the plan. Go back to Nazi Germany. It's the same plan, with better technology by far. Surveillance on every level. You'll have a clone listening to us right outside that window one day if they want you to.
Might already happen.
No, I mean they have it.
I mean, yeah, they have it, but they don't have it yet everywhere.
No, it's not fully implemented. It won't be but a few years.
I'll be dead by then.
No, you won't.
I don't want to see that because I'm rebellious.
Remember,
I'm the one who will sit over in the corner of the room outside of the eye of the camera, making notes.
Arbeit macht frei, right?
I don't know.
Remember the music, and you go to the left line, you go to
No,
the
that
right.
one, yeah, Jesus.
But I lived through World War II with this in, and saw the newsreels, and I saw, you know what I mean, the effect was, you'd think it would be a whole lot worse in Europe. I talked to a lot of European people that survived and all the rest. It wasn't good, don't get me wrong. But the thing is not being part of it and seeing what's going on is, for a young child, on Channel 11 they showed some of the footage. They never showed it again. I have it on cassettes. It was early,
Well, the Arabs don't
early
want
in Channel 11.
the Arabs don't want you to see any of that because it didn't happen.
Well, it's pretty obvious that that's, anybody can say something doesn't happen and have a degree or anything else. I mean, is that blatant? I said
No,
it
but
was-
if you keep doing that long enough, then the generations
Okay,
that know what happened are dead.
No one ever said who the Palestinians were. Who were they?
Well, they were Israel.
They were the Philistines,
Philistines,
that raided the coast, just like the Japanese raided the Chinese coast. They came off of Cyprus and Malta and spots
Right, yeah,
over
yeah.
to there. And then some stayed. I mean, why did the Turks, you know, like Constantinople, all the rest? The Tartars invaded. They intermarried and they stayed. That's what made them tough. They have a very good economy right now.
I don't know. Turkey?
Turkey does, yeah.
Yeah, but Turkey now is mostly
The others are
Muslim.
dropping heavily.
Mostly Muslim country.
Right?
Turkey.
The point is, who allowed the Muslims in? What's socialism?
It's the fact that it's not a religion, it's a political setup under the guise of religion. So,
And the other is, under the guise of religion, you have your political. Who said they're separate?
well, in
They work
that
together.
quote religion, they aren't.
Let me put it this way, as I said before. They keep showing Eliot Ness in the 20s when, okay, the mob got in and they controlled the unions, they controlled the small bars and the laundry and so on, and it stops there. You don't see any updates. The old timers that were still killers were found in trunks, in alleys. The bosses, all at one time, they cleared house saying, you're not going to retire like the Daily. You retire, you get benefits. You don't, you know where you're going to end up. Right? They did. What happens is, if they took their money and put it into legitimate big business, as I told you, big business, just kept buying up controlling shares. How many shares would it take to control GE? Oh, impossible. Remember, they can buy and sell shares. The people that are the CEOs today are not coming from the ranks. Have you noticed that?
Right, yeah.
The Jack Welches and
No,
Iacocca's.
they come from another company or another
They
thing.
go to
or-
two schools, two colleges.
I don't know which
They're
two.
part of the system. They move from corporation to corporation. They screw up royally, but that's beside the point. The controlling factors of these corporations now, and they've done the system internationally now. It's all part of control. They control the politics and the religion. Look at the religion. What do you think confession would be to an evil group?
Good way to get yourself killed.
No. Yeah. Every weakness is found out in your family. Every secret is found out. Oh, no, they wouldn't do that. I said, no, they wouldn't have perverts either and child molesters incorporated in on purpose. They never went to the nuns. They should have. The point is the Vatican is real. They bought land from a country, and so you can't look at them. No one can look at the books. They have their own bank. I have the book from 420 pages just on that, plus everything they did during World War II and why. And wow.
What's the name of the book?
Eyes. It's called The Vatican and World Politics. You probably won't find it now. It was under a pseudonym, too. Last name Manhattan. I'm sure it was from somebody in New York. But the point is that fact or no, when you go back and see what has happened since,
Yep, you're done.
and they predict even a little further, you'll know.
Roz, to bring you in the room, see that.
Like I said, if the Germans start up, this is the last rise of the Holy Roman Empire, according to a Christian church, who believed the Christians were there to help the Jews. They were. The converts were there. Jesus, his cousin, John, the river. They took in old soldiers, they took in pagans, they used the pagan symbols to get enough people. That's what Jesus would have said. Save the Jews. He always said, what? I'm in full agreement with the Creator. He never was a radical. He was a radical against the crookedness in the orthodoxy. And some of the stuff they allowed. There were other groups before him. Called it a cult, a sect, whatever you want to call it. But the thing is, the first converts were Jews.
Right, right.
They were thrown to the lions for trying to save their people.
Right.
And you know what? The pagan chiefs and the Celtic leaders and the crooks and so on that went over the Christian way, they said to their followers, we're out of here. This is nuts. And they formed the Celtic tribes from the East End all the way through Ireland. Interesting, isn't it? That's not in the book. That's in other books. But the fascinating part is, you know, remember the military-industrial complex, Eisenhower, about the religio-political complex, which is coordinated. Who made Switzerland? 3 countries gave up their land to form a banking closed community. Now you had the Jesuits doing all sorts of brown shirt activity. Hitler couldn't have gone where he went. No way. No way. By himself without backing. In any way, shape, or form. He would have been laughed at and maybe just killed. Because it was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They needed a mouth. Notice our president? A mouth.
A mouth. That's all he is.
That's all he is. This is the same program. Now, I have World War II books. The ration books. I told you about that, didn't I?
What?
They're not food stamps. They're stamps for a sack of flour, a sack of sugar for each member of the family, and you got a book every month. And go home and cook. If you don't know how to cook, learn. Because you're going to be hungry. Now, secondarily, if you didn't have a car, which people didn't, they traded their gas stamps for food stamps with each other. How come we have food stamps and we have all sorts of giveaways? What do you think they're doing? Think hard. How many people in the first phase, housing, medical care, food, everything.
Right, they're making you totally dependent on them.
What are they going to do next?
Oh yeah, let me look in there.
Which line will they get in for a shower?
Hold on.
Yeah. That's a frightening thought.
It may happen. I mean, the police don't show brutality. We don't have a Guantanamo. We don't do bad things because we're a country that's a good country. We have morality. You notice how
Not anymore.
How lies are lies?
Yeah.
As you said? No, not anymore. This isn't the country I grew up in.
I agree with you there.
Not at all. It's not depressing to me. I can talk about any of these things without bothering me. It's a separate category. It's awareness. It's learning, it's trying to understand, but it doesn't base itself in my emotions. World War II did enough.
Yes.
But to go take and the things that this country is doing, in the way of military, the amount of money spent on military, and all these wars that aren't wars, since World War II, Korea was going in 5 years. Korea was going in 5 years after World War II. And we have to stay there. We have to stay every place. Why?
I often wonder that. Why?
Oh, I do. I don't wonder. I know why. Every empire has fallen. England backed off, backed off, backed off. The only power that could have contained their navy was the French.
Contained whose navy? The Germans?
The French navy was equivalent to the English navy.
Oh, the English navy.
After that, England had the whole thing. The French had Napoleon. But this kind of animal behavior, non-human, not higher understanding mammal, is prevalent all over. They failed to develop a truly higher understanding humanoid.
Truly higher understanding what?
We were not directly related to the ape. We were altered.
We were
We're
what?
altered apes.
Altered
They're not
apes.
going to find the connection. You can't.
We are the connection.
Yeah. We've done in the Garden of Eden, I told you that.
Yeah.
We failed time after time after time. They couldn't get the killer out of us, the greed. The animal that we are, we're predators. They really want sheep. Remember?
Yeah.
The eyes on the side of their head that don't kill even to eat. Grains and grasses. Philosophically, I get to the point as I get older to understand more and more. Because pieces go together. I could be wrong. But they fit together so beautifully. It's sad.
I'm done.
You know, and then we're going to do your Zometa.
I thought that's what that one was.
You don't
That's
have
just saline.